You guys have an incredible teacher today. Be nice to her.
I'm going to teach you what I know. How are you guys today? Good? We've made it to session 17. So, and we have the recordings too, so you can still catch up, okay? So you're like, 17, we're almost done. So today we're going to go over making and receiving offers, okay? Who here has already made an offer, sent an offer, received offers? Okay. All right, so you guys have some idea. We're going to be just touching a couple things on both the buyer side as well as the listing side. So when you're on both sides of the coin, okay? Yeah, I might get food. And there's more sandwiches back there, so if you guys want, fill up, okay? Philip, I brought a little bit of my unhealthiness to you guys.
I justify it. I was like, there's protein in there.
There's protein, there's egg, there's, there's salsa, there's vegetables. I feel like there's so many, there's salsa packets. You just have to add it, It's how you look at the big picture, right? It's all about interpretation. Right?
Ketchup is a vegetable.
Okay, so you have options, okay? You have options. We have a little bit of carbs to keep us awake the whole way through, so it's just those things. All right, guys, I'm sure you've seen this multiple times, but it is your TCPA warning. Obviously, don't go over there harassing everybody on the phone, giving them a hard time. Don't get yourself in trouble, okay? Too late. Wendy will get a call later. So obviously, we've already gone through all of these classes. How do you guys feel so far about Ignite? How do you feel? Do you feel like you guys are implementing things that you've been learning into your day-to-day? Yep. Yeah, it's a good one. And I tell people all the time, do Ignite multiple times. You get different instructors, so you get different perspectives. But the clients that I first dealt with when I first started years ago are not the same clients I deal with today. They're a little crazier today. So, and when I was new, I knew no better, right? I was like, there's a well here? I didn't even know there's a well. So it's little things like that. You learn as you go, but every nugget that you get can help you transform your business into something better. So do it multiple times. And we also have all the recordings, so you guys can access those at any time from even like 2-3 years ago. Our belief system. So does someone want to read this? Who feels motivated?
Win-win or no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, and success results through people.
It really is a really good foundation to have for your business when you operate it with these beliefs. So it's just something, to keep in mind. So here's a quick little timeline of our agenda today and what we're going to go over. So let me try not to break everything. We're going to go over the offer process. We're going to prepare the offer. We're going to write the offer, present the offer, and then we're going to do it from the listing side, which is the receiving and responding. Okay? Who wants to read this one?
I'd like to think of sales as the ability to gracefully persuade, not manipulate a person or persons into a win-win situation.
Absolutely. It seems like we should know not to manipulate people into deals, but there are agents out there that do that, right? They're like, this one's higher, this one pays more commission, whatever it is, let me try to sway you this way. But the thing is that we are just representing the people that are going to be doing all the work and the sacrifice and everything of that monthly mortgage payment. So keep in mind what it is that they want. They're going through so many emotions when writing an offer, right? It becomes real. Like, oh my gosh, I'm committing to this, right? The lender's in my ear with the payment. All this stuff's happening. What if it's rejected? I know I've seen people have full-on meltdowns talking to themselves in front of me. I'm like, so are we signing? Are we not? Let me know. So just remember, be graceful with them, you know, try to hear out all their concerns and all those things when doing an offer. Okay, did I go the wrong way? No. Okay, the offer process. Now for some of you, because you guys have already done offers, I think it was like 3 or 4 of you that have done it already. This is kind of the little flow of how it works. The buyer makes an offer, the seller will respond one of 3 ways. So one is the counter offer. They may counter you and say, you know what? No, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. We, you know, are willing to do this or that. And that's where your negotiations are going to start. You're going to go back and forth a couple times. Counter offer 1, counter offer 2, you know, trying to figure out all the little kinks of things. The second one is they accept the offer. We're ready to go to escrow. We're done. Everything's great. We're ready to rock and roll.
So you offer too much.
Right? They're like, hurry up before they change their mind. And then they have where the seller rejects the offer. Now, I always try to tell people when it comes to the rejecting offer part, always ask them, and I'll get into it a little bit more later on, but this is something where you want to have good communication with the listing agent, because sometimes they'll just reject an offer on the fact that you're under or you're asking for something, and maybe you can renegotiate. It's never no 100% until it's no 100%.
Sorry, why would someone just, why would an agent just reject it and not counter offer?
So let's say you do a offer for my listing, right? I haven't even had an open house on it yet. You sent it to me day 2 of it being on the market, and you're 20K under. I mean, I'll tell my seller, hey, this came in, but most likely as a good agent, I'm going to tell my seller we should wait. We have our open house. We have a lot of things. This one's 20K under. What do you think? Like, you know, are you willing to take this? And some people are like, no, just reject it out the gate. So that's something, and I've had that recently happen actually with one of my houses. I think you hosted an open house for me there at the one on 30th. Oh, yeah. The same buyer that offered the offer first, we rejected it. And then 3 months later, we just said, hey, it's still on the market. We're willing to revisit it and kind of negotiate, you know, what it is. And they're the ones who ended up buying the house. So it could happen. Just no is never 100% no. Just make sure you communicate with the listing agent, you know. Okay, well, that was fast ahas right there. Do you guys kind of understand the three kind of options that you have with it? That's really what it is. Welcome. We have sandwiches in the back. Please eat some. And there's salsa and ketchup. So those are the kind of 3. I don't really see any other ones that are like crazy out there. I mean, happening. Mike, did you want to say something?
Just a little more. Yeah, the multiple offers.
Yes.
How does the listing agent go multiple offers, like multiple counter offers?
So when you get the counter offers, right? So that'll fall into the first category. That's if you got like 3 good offers and you're kind of just trying to see like, okay, which direction, like, guys, send me your best and highest, you know what I mean, or whatever it is. You can go ahead and counter people that way. And obviously they're letting you know they're doing it to multiple people. I've seen situations where each offer got a separate counter back. So that does happen. And of course, when you have a multiple counter offer, you just have to let your client know, hey, there's other people that are renegotiating too, and they're going to pick the highest and best. And I always tell my client, like, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to sacrifice an inspection? Are you willing to do this? Are you willing, like, where is it? How bad do you want this home? I have to have it. I'm willing to give up my, you know, firstborn. Okay. Let's negotiate.
It's yours.
Yeah. Firstborn in the offer. So it just depends, obviously, with and this is where I always try to tell people, have a good relationship, or at least try to communicate the best you can with the listing agent. There are plenty of times that I've called the listing agent and I'm like, what's the deal? What do you need to get this closed? What is it that you are looking at right now? If you're looking at an all cash offer 20K over, it's going to be harder for me. I'm going to have to tell my client, like, hey, straight up, if you're not willing to meet this standard, they're probably going to go with that one. And a lot of them are pretty cool because they just want to sell the house. You're going to meet some that are like, I'm not saying anything. Like, good luck to you. You know, you'll meet some. But usually when I talk to them, they're like, this is what I have on the table. This is what's happening. What can your person do? And remember, these are relationships that you're building for the future deals too. especially if you do it with someone who's like, let's say, Jessica Dixon, right? She has a lot of listings. You're bound to write her another offer at some point. So the way you kind of, communicate, I know you're lying. I put my paper over there, guys, and I just, whew.
And you can ask, okay, I can understand that. I'm sure that your seller will want more money than what he's asking for, but what is the most important thing for them to get? What is it exactly, besides the money, what are they interested in? They're moving really fast?
Yeah, are you looking for a faster close? Are you not looking to get down payment, or closing costs covered? There's different variables, and obviously each client is different. So that's where I always feel, even before I write an offer, I always call the listing agent, like, what do you have on the table? What is the most important thing to you? And what is it that my client, sometimes I'm just straight up, what does my client need to get this home? And some of them are pretty cool. They're just like, yeah, this is what you need. Especially when you have that relationship built and you communicate with people. We're in a business of relationships, guys. That's all it is just relationships.
You said like giving up inspection could like influence them to.
I don't suggest it, but it's something like, I had a client who, it was a newer house, they had a septic, and they're like, look, I don't need the seller to pay for a septic inspection, the house is new. So I'm willing to just go ahead and waive that. Okay, that saves the client $700, for the seller side. Yeah, typically the seller pays for that. Seller pays like well and septic and those kind of things. But that could be a deal breaker. They could be like, hey, I'm motivated now. I'm gonna save $700. I'm gonna go ahead and go with that offer. So it's little things like that. Like, don't waive full inspection, right? Like, don't do that. Like, we'll buy it as is. It's falling apart. Like, don't do that. Okay? Like, don't do that. Let me be very clear. Let me get that on camera real quick. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
But those little things that you could look at. If the house was brand new in this situation, nobody even lived in it.
Yeah.
So it was, maybe if used, it was at the sink. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't anything crazy. So they were like, I'm willing to compromise. And my client was a contractor. So my client already kind of knew the gist. He's like, yeah, I'm not really worried about it. So it's little things like that. Obviously, these are just vague things. Not everyone fits in every single cookie cutter situation. But this is where your judgment, your relationship, your stuff, you're going to know better. Okay? Do you have ahas on that little timeline? Just blew the knowledge into you guys. I love that. So now we're going to prepare the offer. Your client saw a home, is in love, willing to do whatever it takes. Now we're going to go ahead and get the offer ready. Always prepare to write the offer. And this is something I'm just going to tell you from experience. People make mistakes on the MLS. Okay? Good morning. Good morning. There's sandwiches in the back too if you want some, okay? Okay, thank you. Do your due diligence when it comes to writing the offer. I, as a rookie agent years ago during COVID, forgot to put that I had a house listed with septic. So there's things like that. Luckily, the agent was super cool, was like, hey, I know you don't work in Hesperia. I'm going to help you out. It's septic. So great. That helped me. That saved me, right? But I was new. I didn't know any better. Do your research. Check title. Check things. Check whatever it is that you need to make sure, because you could have someone who's newer that didn't realize, made a mistake, TC inputted something wrong, whatever it is, and now your client is stuck with a septic that's not pump certed or anything because you didn't put it in the offer. And then it's on you. No one wants that. So obviously make sure the property is still available. Don't send an offer on something that is sold or in escrow. Okay? Just they'll be tricking people out there.
It's okay to ask the agent if they're willing to accept backups.
Absolutely. So absolutely.
As a default, I'm going to offer that to all my clients. I'm going to say,
Always.
hey, because they have to continue to legally produce them to the owners and let them be aware and let the owners know.
And people fall out of escrow all the time.
They fall out of escrow all the time.
Fall out of escrow.
And they can change their mind too if they get a better offer.
So I, as a side note, even when I see it change to pending and my client was going to see it the next day, I always ask, is it okay if my client still sees it for a potential backup offer?
Always ask.
It doesn't hurt to ask, and things happen.
And don't even change it. Don't even stop from doing it because you have a cash offer that had been accepted. Because I had one, and 2-3 weeks later, the agent called me and says, "Are your clients willing oh, they just backed out, the wife thought it was too much money at one time for a house.
Yeah, look at me. 3 months later, I sold it to the first person that came. So it happens. Things happen. You can go into escrow, you know, emergencies happen. All of a sudden, they don't have the funds. They don't qualify anymore. They decided to buy a brand new car in the middle of their offers. It's whatever it is that can happen. Always just be ready. It's your job to protect your client. Build rapport with the listing agent. Obviously, I just went over that. The more you ask, the better it is. Like, I always try to be super nice when it comes to me showing homes. I'm like, hey, I'm so-and-so from Keller Williams. You know, here's my little, I do a little like digital cute card, like little Canva. And then I send it with all my info and I'm like, I just really am interested. I liked XYZ about the property and my client loved it too. So it shows I did my research. I looked at it. I'm not just showing it to waste your time. This is legit. And then I always send a message after saying, hey, thank you for letting me see the home. My clients loved XYZ. Or, hey, you know, did you notice there was bugs in the corner? May want to take care of that for future showings, you know? Because they're like, hey, they're looking out for me. That's cool. I'm going to look out for them when that offer comes in. Inquire about activity. Always ask, like, hey, have you had a lot of showings? Check days on market. Check what's going on, because you could have a house that's maybe 2 days on market, right? So the likelihood is they're going to hold off and kind of wait to see what comes in. Or they can be like, it's been on the market a year. Hurry, send me something, you know? So you have that wiggle room. Do your due diligence when it comes to that. Inquire about offers on the property. Hey, have you received any offers? Sometimes they'll say, we received a few, it just didn't meet our qualifications. Not what we're looking for. Well, what was it about that didn't meet? They need 15K closing. That's a lot for my seller. Okay, now I know to avoid that situation. If my client needs closing, that might not be the house for them. Okay? Ask questions about the seller's motivations and needs. You can have a situation where the seller's like, I have to be out in 15 days. Like, there's no if, ands, or buts. I have to be out. I need your offer to be able to come in. So obviously, an escrow of 30, 60 days might be a bit of an issue, right? You're going to have to talk to lenders and see what you can do. Or you have someone that's like, I'm contingent. I need to be able to get my offer accepted. I have to get this one into escrow so that I can go buy mine. And now that's a longer waiting period. So they're like, okay, I need to be able to, you know, get into my escrow. You're going to have to hold off 60 days. So, good morning, Sarah. There's sandwiches in the back too. You're welcome. Grow. So just those things, you know, keep those in mind. I did a transaction October, and I was 3 stacked. Okay. I was representing with another agent here. I helped her out. We did buyer-seller. The middle one was buyer-seller, and then I did buyer. And they all had to domino at the same time. And that was pretty chaotic, but we had to coordinate with the one that was moving away. And then we had to just stack every single person's loans and everything the right way. So keep those things in mind, because sometimes people get all excited and they're like, I'm ready to move now. And the seller's like, I'm not ready. Or, you know, that can make or break later down the line. Ask listing agent how they want to receive the offer. I mean, usually in the MLS, it does say, like, to submit an offer. I'm sure you guys have read it in the notes. To submit an offer, please CC me and my TC and my broker and the president of Gavar, everybody. CC them all. Or they want it to go to a specific thing. I think Ferris has one specific email that you send all the offers to. Don't send it to him. He's not going to look at it. Don't read those notes, guys. Read the notes. Do it for showings too. I know this is a side note. Do it for showings, because there are times that people will call me when I'm just like on something. And I'm like, I'm not the one scheduling. It says it in the MLS. You didn't read the notes. Now I know you're not looking at it. So keep that in mind. Unless you're out of area, then I'll allow it. I know you can't see my notes. Obtain the buyer's pre-approval from lender. This is a big one, because when you have a pre-approval, there are lenders out there, a few that I know of, that will just send a pre-approval without checking anything. They didn't even check credit. I had one do that. I had a client with a condo, and I got a pre-approval, and we were good to go. I submitted the offer. Offer got accepted, and the lender was like, I'm not golfing, but I'll get you. They're good. I swear they're good. Everything's good. I've worked with them. I'm like, great, yeah, pre-approval, we're good. Got approved. Halfway through the escrow, he's like, they don't qualify. And I'm like, what do you mean? I have a pre-approval. He's like, yeah, but I didn't check the tax forms. So he didn't get as much overtime that year. And now I'm like, but you sent me a pre-approval. Like, this is on you. Now we're in trouble because they already rented out their house. So we're in a situation. We got it done, but these are things that you can avoid, especially too when you have people that are asking for offers with the desk underwriting. What is it, the DU? So they're asking for it just because they want to make sure that they're not going to have that hiccup halfway through escrow. So make sure you get those. I always like to now ask for them, like, hey, can I get the DU just so that I have it? A lot of listing agents now, recently, are asking for you to do like a secondary approval with their lender. Like, let me make sure they're legit, especially if they're higher priced homes. I've seen that a lot. Oh. Mm-hmm. That's all right. They're going to the other door. We just all stared at them. Clutch your pearls. Review MLS and tax records. Obviously, like I said, double check your stuff before you submit an offer. You want to make sure that it's not well, it's not septic, it's not, so you can ask for the right things in the offer. If you need a septic cert, if you need a well certification, if you need things like that, you want to make sure that you have it all properly asked for in that offer. Not all agents are nice and tell you, hey, you missed, we had septic. They're going to take that offer and tell you you didn't ask for it. Sorry. Run your comps too. Run your comps, and this can help you both ways. Reason being is poor me, I've had all the trouble with people, but it's okay. I had a buyer who was like, give them $50K under, it's cool. I'm like, this is not a yard sale. We're not just throwing offers out and seeing what sticks. Like, this is something like, look at the value. And I had to run comps on every single property because I'm like, this is the value. Appraisal, everything will be based off this. You can't just throw a number and hope it sticks. This is something that, you have to be competitive and you have to give the value. But when he was selling his house, he wanted top dollar, right? And then obtain seller's disclosure statement and all the other needed documents. Be ready with it. Just have it ready to go. It's always nice to get an offer that has everything all put together, and we just have to open escrow and sign everything and send it back. Okay? Do you have questions on this?
Proof of funds as well, if it's cash, or any portion of it's cash.
Oh, yeah.
Because it might be portion of it lender, portion of it cash.
Gift letters.
Bank statement, current statement, with their social security and account number scratched out of it.
Always make sure that they're scratched out. Yeah, make sure they're always scratched out. With some, you do want to send the proof of funds and stuff like that. I don't send bank statements. I personally don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I don't.
Screenshot.
Reason being is, if you want that info, you can get it from me. Everyone's cool sending stuff until you get identity theft, and then now it's on you and you're getting sued. I will send proof of funds with numbers scratched out and stuff. Obviously the offer, right? In the email itself that I send, I break down what it is. And I have a template. I use it for every single one. So if I ever write you an offer, you'll be like, look at her template. It's literally just, this is how much we have cash on hand that we're going to do deposit. This is how much the offer's for. This is how much we're financing. This is exactly what we're asking for. Ding, 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 ding. It's broken down in the email. If you want more information, just ask. Because the person doesn't have to see that my client goes to McDonald's 700 times a day in a bank statement, right? It's little things like that. And it's human nature, right? Human nature is they're going to look at it and go, what are they spending all this money for? Yeah, why are they at Macy's, at the Mac counter every day? It's little things like that to me, I'm like, to protect my client, if you want that information, we can send it to you when you're really going to take the offer in seriousness. Proof of funds, obviously, yes, if you're coming in, 100K cash. Yeah, proof of funds. But everything's scratched out. And I really try to send the least amount of visibleness because it's their privacy. Lord knows I don't want my bank statement out there. So they're all, this girl at Walmart and Temu, she's going crazy over here. I just buy, because I'm one of those that if it pops up on Instagram, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy that. That's right. Like I like that my phone listens to me. So I'm like, that's right. I wanted to buy that before. Hold on, like,
You know me so well.
I'm like that. I forgot. I didn't check out on that item. So it's things like that, you know. I'm a total sucker for that. They totally did it for me. I guess I just asked your ahas. But that's a good point to point out, Cece, that you want to make sure that you have that. But depends. You'll have some clients that are like, send it all. I don't care. But I try to protect as much as I can. Now, writing the offer. I got your little car forms up and you're getting ready to write the offer. Price and terms. So obviously you're going to go in the offer and you're going to write the price that you are offering with the terms that you are doing. So if you are doing 30-day escrow, 10-day escrow, we want deposit or, seller credit. We want whatever it is that we want to ask for. You want to make sure that all of that is broken down in your contract very clear. Seller's disclosures. Obviously, you'll have all the seller disclosures, and I think it attaches automatically right now to the RPA.
Yes.
It's all in there. So you can't even avoid it if you wanted to. Conveyances. Obviously, you want to make sure that you have everything in there. Earnest money deposit. With the earnest money deposit, double check your math. Because sometimes I get offers and people put earnest money deposit and then they put, I'm financing $500,000 and I'm doing it and the math's not mathing. So just double check your math. It happens. Yeah, I typically do like three, depending on the price. Depending on the price of the home, right? So I've had one where we offered, I think it was like $15,000 on like a land or something. $500, right? Something smaller. But I've had houses where it's like $700,000 and they're like, we want a good amount. I think the one I just recently sold was I think it was like $650 or so, and they wanted $25K. Like we're not taking anything less than $25K as a down.
They want to make sure there's
It was the earnest money, yeah.
A solid buyer will,
Yeah.
really want a house.
I told my client, you really want it? Write the check. Yeah, he's like, all right, fine. So you have to, yes.
Do what you have to do, otherwise you're going to lose your money.
Yes. Don't waive those contingencies. You're going to lose your stuff. Yeah, you want to make sure. Obviously, like how motivated are you? What are you willing to put on the line to get this house? Due diligence and inspection period. Obviously, if you have a shorter escrow, right? Like you're coming in cash, you're coming in whatever it is, and it's a 15-day escrow, adjust the inspection times. Don't leave it at the 17-day mark, right? Your escrow's 15 days. How do you have everything set to 17 days, like inspections? It happens out there. So you want to modify 3-day, 5-day, whatever it is to what it is you're doing, okay?
And you're saying that because, sorry.
What happened?
You're saying that because 17 days is defaulted in the contract.
It's defaulted.
So you need to be aware and adjust that.
Right. If my escrow is 15 days, how am I going to have a 17-day default? You know what I mean? So modify it, adjust those things because you want to make sure that your client is protected within that window before you remove contingencies.
You can make sure you have a home inspector.
So escrow, it just depends like on the loan that you're getting, things like that factors. If the seller needs a 60-day escrow because they're trying to close on another property, you kind of talk to the listing agent, you present it with your offer like, hey, here's where it's at. Typically, I always, like I say, I do my research beforehand. I talk to the listing agent. What is the window that you guys need to close? 30 days. Cool. Talk to the lender. I talk to the client. We're good to go for the 30 days, right? But sometimes the guy's like, look, I'm trying to close. I'm trying to do another deal in another state. I need 60 days. Okay, then I'm going to write the 60 days. We'll have the 17-day, inspections, and we have everything there. Of course, you can always hold off on your last contingency of like loan, stuff like that. There's things that you can do, okay? Time for seller acceptance. Typically, what is it? Do you guys know how many days they have from when you submit an offer? 3 days. 3 days. You can extend it. You can also minimize it. You got 1 day. 24 hours. I'm CCing your broker. Like it's things like that. You could do it. I mean, like you may make some enemies, but you could do it. Especially if you feel like they're just being, whatever. Unless they're clear with you and they tell you just straight up, like, hey, I'm not doing any presenting until the end of the week.
And sometimes they say it in the MLS.
They do. We're presenting on XYZ day.
Saturday at such and such.
Yeah. I've done that before where I tell people, hey, I'm not presenting. We just listed. I'm not presenting till the end of the week. We've got I'm pending a couple offers, whatever. And then I have the agent blowing up my phone. I submitted an offer. Guys, I told you clear as day. We have until this day that we're going to submit. You still chose to submit and do those things. Just extend it. Extended the time. I'll get it clear. Mm-hmm.
Victoria?
Yes.
And can we put it in the MLS that, offers will not be, reviewed until like a week or whatever? Is that okay? Or we're not allowed to do that?
You can put that. I see it all the time. Just be very, don't put 6 months from now, I'm going to present offers, right? That's a little bit crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, we're waiting till open house. We're submitting, if you really are trying to get down to it, because you got a timeline, all offers need to be in by this date we're presenting. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
Little things like that. If you really read the notes, you'll kind of know. And if you built the rapport with the agent, they're going to tell you flat out. And a lot of times they'll tell you, hey, I'm not presenting yet. Send me a modification, extension, whatever it is that you want to do so that we can, still present and get that. Financing terms. Be very clear with your financing terms. There's all different kinds of loans out there, right? VA, FHA. They all have their own specific requirements. So make sure that you keep those in mind and with the client that you have in front of you. Conventional is a little different from FHA. There's different stuff. So make sure you know what you're talking about.
Some homes will not allow to be sold if they're not up to certain standards for
Absolutely.
VA loan or FHA.
Absolutely. And there's some people who are like, hey, we're not doing FHA and we're not doing VA loans because the house needs a lot of work and we're not going to get that clearance on that loan because of the work that needs to get done. It's being sold as is, conventional only, cash only. So make sure don't send an FHA on a cash only. It's all missing doors and windows. Yeah, FHA is not going to approve that. VA is not going to approve that. You kind of know. If the roof's missing, you're not going to get it.
Will conventional loan approve if there's a structure that's non-permitted?
So I just had the one that I sold in Mojave with the airplane hangar. They converted the garages and they're not permitted, but the conventional did cover it. It just stayed at the 3-bedroom versus the 5.
Okay.
But they did cover it. They're like, hey, that's still something. We can't sell it to you or change title. Lien, you're going to have to clear lien. Okay. You're still going to have to clear liens. Depending on what it is. I mean, you can have child support. You can have whatever it is kind of liens on there. So escrow usually is good at that. I know for when I was selling and had liens, escrow came running and was like, hey, this is attached. We got to clear these. And then title will say you're clear or whatever it is. Buyer pre-approval letter, obviously, you will have that. Some people want the DU. The more you have, the better. So just send pre-approval like we're good, we qualify, we do all these things. Sometimes when you're offering a little bit less, this is just something I do. Don't send the pre-approval for $900,000 and you're offering $300,000. Change your pre-approval a little bit to be lower. Because they're gonna be like, this person has money, they qualify. No, rejected right out the gate. It's just things like that. You know what I mean? Have your buyer's best interest. Because if not, the listing agent will look at it and go, they qualify. Why are you asking for it to be lower? Whatever the reason be.
So what do you do with the pre-approval letter? How do you?
Pre-approval, so it's just always attach, obviously, your pre-approval letter. But let's say I have a listing and you are writing an offer. It's, for number's sake, $200,000, right? But you send me an offer for $150,000. And then I see that your buyer's qualified for $500,000. I'm like, why are you offering me so little? Counter. Counter right out the gate.
How do you hide that information?
You can ask the lender. So the lenders usually will just modify it to be like, a little bit more, low or whatever it is, just to match your offer so that you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're asking.
So you don't seem like
I did that.
Yeah.
I had a lender send me a letter for the full approval, but we wanted to offer a lower amount. So I had them give me a revised letter. But I needed to show that. I needed to show that to the seller.
It's not lying. You're not going the opposite way. You're just going.
And the seller still countered, so But then
Yeah.
we had to talk to the lender, quote unquote, about extending that offer back up.
Yeah, if you have a
That way
listing
we could pull it all back up.
and you get somebody who's well over pre-approved, you're gonna be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Kick it back. No,
Yeah.
we're countering. So it's
Yeah.
things like that. I just want to protect. Closing date. You want to make sure that you have the date that you are thinking of closing and all those things. Obviously, like with your timeline of 30, 60, 90, whatever it is that your escrow is. Home warranty. This is a big one too. Research your home warranties. When they have classes here for home warranties, come to them, okay? Because there are different levels of home warranty. You don't want to give somebody $400,000 and they got a pool and a this and a that and all this stuff, and it's not.
Best instructor ever.
The reviews at the end are like, this was horrible. She fed us. There was a balance. And we'll eat more. I'm like, hopefully they're distracted chewing. No, but those are things, home warranty, you want to make sure that you have that, right? There's different levels of home warranty. There's some that don't cover pools, or there's some that don't cover certain things that that property may have. Make sure you're doing that, because you want to make sure on your offer you're putting the amount that will protect your client. And there's different packages, obviously, right? There's like $550, $650, $750. But depending on what it is, if they have a pool, you probably want the one that's going to cover the pool area too. So.
If there's issues with the pool or issues of a non-permitted thing, do you need to bring that up to the warranty? Is it our responsibility as an agent, knowing what the issue is? Do we owe the warranty company that information?
So I talk to Stacy all the time, and Dawn. I'm always like, hey, this is the situation that I have. I have the XYZ, on the property.
Yeah.
What is it that you suggest for something like this?
Okay.
That's why they make themselves so available. Their numbers are always everywhere, because you want to ask. Like, I asked about the house because it had an airplane hangar.
Right.
450 home warranty is not going to cover the airplane hangar, right? It's gonna be like, sucks to be you. We can't even replace the doorknob.
Yeah.
So it's little things like that that you want to make sure. Obviously, with home warranty, it's anything that happens after you close. So if they called it out in inspection, it's not going to count. You should have fixed it during inspection negotiations and stuff.
Right.
So little things like that.
But it might be on this. If the buyer was okay with not getting something fixed on the inspection, because some buyers don't care.
Yeah.
They're okay with you not fixing something. But if I know about it, I don't want to mess with my relationship with my home warranty person. Like I don't want to have Stacy get business, but Stacy ends up getting bad business. Like they end up, getting mad because she warranted a home in an unpermitted patio that cracked open and killed someone.
You always, like I said, 100%. That's a valid question.
Well, I'm going through it right now. That's why. I'm actually.
See, we learn through pain and trauma. This is where we learn. We learn through pain and trauma and the cocktails at Yard House. Well, why, God, why did this happen to me?
It's my first home, and I'm getting everything.
You know what? Take it as a compliment that you're getting to learn all this in your first transaction.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Because now,
I'm raising pain right now.
yeah, now I just sit there and I laugh. I'm like, of course it did. Of course it's going bad. Like, and you got to keep a straight face with your client. Honestly, I would talk to just the home warranty and be like, hey, here's the situation. Am I covered? Am I not? What's the grounds? I know that for the claims that I've had my clients do, they will ask for the home inspection and be like, it was called out. We don't cover it. But if it wasn't called out, then it's covered, right? So my client right now is dealing where they shower, it's freezing cold water, and then it gets hot, so you have 5 seconds, and then you gotta jump out and wait, and then you gotta jump in, and I'm like, is it just one? And he's like, no, it's all the bathrooms in the house. I'm having to do that with every, a 10-minute shower turns into a 40-minute shower because I'm jumping out and waiting and coming back, and so Stacy's fixing it, right? It wasn't called out during home inspection, everything seemed okay. So it's little things like that you just want to check. And if you have questions, you have access. Ask them.
Yeah.
Hey, what package should I get to cover this type of property? And she's the one who told me you need the $750 one. It'll cover everything that's there. So those are things that you just want to make sure. And if you come to the classes, you'll know.
Yep.
Repair limits, obviously like the repairs and stuff like that you see, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're asking, like, hey, the doors are missing or whatever. Right out the gate, let me let you know. Special clauses, if you have a contingent buyer, right? This offer is pending them closing their home. These are things that you want to disclose ahead of time, because if not, You did not do your full job, and then you could get the other agent upset at you. So you want to make sure that you are very clear with this whole deal is pending my client closing on their home or whatever the situation is, or them coming from out of country. I know Jessica encounters that a lot because she does military. They're relocating, so then they're not here technically. They're offering letters, online. So it's little things like that. You want to have that special clause and make sure you're very clear about it. This is why my email too, I always reiterate everything that I said in the email, so it's there. You can look at the whole thing in 1 second. And then obviously, addenda. I don't even know. I don't even know what that is. Okay, we're just gonna skip that part. I'm like, that's not, I was like, I don't know. I just do my part. Talk through the offer. So obviously review the contract. You want to make sure you're very clear with your buyer what it is that you are presenting, because this is their word and their commitment that they're giving the seller. So, hey, are you aware you're going to put $10K down, an earnest money deposit within 3 days of them accepting this? Like, are you ready to go with that checkbook? Be sure your buyer understands the contract. Make sure they understand the days they have for inspections, the days they have for all those things. I personally have a little timeline. It's like a little sheet. And my TC and I, we modify it based on when the offer was accepted and everything. And we just keep the running timeline. Hey, we have this day to remove contingencies. Inspection will be this day. We stack everything so it's always at first glance. They're never like, where am I at? What's coming next? It's a little timeline. And it is in command, but
keeps asking for the timeline in command, and I haven't been.
So in command, you do move things from like pending to active to negotiation. Like you do move them along.
The
Main phases.
Okay.
But this is something that I give my client.
Okay.
So my client gets updated. I have my TC also send an update. Hey, we just got this inspection. Here's the whole report. We just got this. Here's this. Tomorrow we're removing contingencies. Have you reviewed your reports? If nothing was flagged, we go over it, obviously. They're conversations, but that keeps your client's mind at peace. They're like, okay, I'm on face.
Let me grab a quick video. Just want to fix your hair. Sorry.
Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. My glam team was here. You have to look out for each other, guys. We need each other in the best light. So those are things. See? Relationships. When you have a good one, they look out for you. So that's just kind of things that you want to be very clear on. I have a timeline, and I've just been dumping a bunch of stuff into a Google Drive, and it's just there if you want to steal it, whatever, make it your own. We all have Canva Pro, so utilize them. You can make cool little timelines, little things, and it's just something to have. Even when I send a text, I'll send a text picture where it's just like, hey, here's where we're at. You are here. Like the Domino's pizza tracker. I love that thing. My son loves it too. He'll just stare at it like, Mom, it's in the oven. Mom, they picked it up. I'm like, yes, thank you for the updates. But it's things like that. People love those things. They love to just be in the know, like, okay, I'm calm. This is happening. Know what's essential in your area. Yeah.
I actually have a generated list already of a checklist of things that she's referring to of the steps of your transaction, and you can transfer into your checklist within your opportunity timeline. Meaning, if you create an opportunity and they're in Cultivate, they're not active, there's no actual transaction, there's a way that you can add what you're doing for your client in each of those phases, and you can also select to turn on updates. So when you move your client from Cultivate to active, they'll receive an update that says, hey, we just checked all these things off of your list, so that way you look like you're actually doing something for them, and you're also communicating to them specifically what you have done. I can share those to you guys separately.
That's awesome. Yeah, yes.
And make sure that you review it though. Okay? You don't want your client to get a text that says, we closed escrow. They're like, what? I'm like, oh my gosh, they're in phase 1. So just make sure you review, because Lord knows you'll have to talk that one off the ledge, right?
Rookie mistake. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one, right? We're good. We funded. We're done. And then now they got to go sign loan docs and stuff. So it's little things like that that you want to make sure that you just kind of know your timeline. And if you don't know, ask one of us. We're all here. We all do it. Escrow, you can ask. TC, there's so many people you can ask, okay? Don't ever think that you're alone. If you know me, you know that I answer my phone at 10 o'clock at night. I will text back like at some point. Sometimes it's a little late and I feel bad, so I don't reply. But you always can find me somewhere, somehow. Know what's essential in your area. So is it in a flood zone? Is it in a fire zone? Are these things that you need disclosures for? Is it something that, an HD is going to call out? These are things that you want to prepare your client for. So think about it this way too. California had all those fires. Insurance went up. A lot of companies pulled out of California, and now home insurance is very high. So if you know your client's barely scraping by to make this payment, guess what? That home insurance is going to be super high because it's in a flood zone. It's in a fire zone. It's little things like that. And then they're going to be like, well, you didn't tell me. Do you guys know how to find that in the MLS? In the MLS, there is an area that you can go to, and at the end, I'll show you guys. Just remind me. You can go and you can put the address, and it'll put a little dot. And then over there at the top, you can change it to say flood zones, and it'll show you the whole map of if it's in a flood zone.
Is it the same thing that natural hazard folks have?
I do it through Flex.
Preliminary report? Okay.
It does.
Okay.
They have obviously more in depth. I'm doing this from the jump before I even show you the home. So I'm checking. I'm like, oh, you're in a flood zone.
That would be really nice to know.
Yes.
That would have saved my situation, everything that's going on.
Trust me, and I teach agents this all the time. In fact, I have a little video where I was walking somebody through it.
You guys, it matters
So.
because literally some counties will report flood zones and it's butt up against another counties, and they reported that same area as a flood zone versus, and it's you need to know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your whole loan could fall through.
It's crazy, and with these insurances being so high, you definitely don't want to put your client in a position, with everything going on.
And I think FEMA also changed a lot of flood zone mappings, and the counties may or may not have caught up with that. So the counties may be saying one thing, and FEMA might be saying something different, which poses a whole other issue.
That's a whole nother one.
We had to pay for a special engineer to come out and do what's called the elevation cert.
Oh, girl, you're learning. You're learning with this one.
It doesn't even. You don't even.
She's like, that's just the tip of my iceberg.
You don't even.
You know what though? That's a blessing. It's stressful, but it's a blessing because.
But we're on the verge of threatening to sue. This is how bad it's getting. This is.
Always love a good lawsuit.
For everything that's going on, and this is my very first transaction in the industry.
Think about it this way. You already got the hard one out the way.
I know. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
You're like, I got the hard one out the way. You're like, flood zone? Check. Attorneys? Check. I'm good. I've got it down to the T. I know the process.
Yes, ma'am.
So those are things, and like I said, I learned the first few. I'm like, what in the heck is this whole universe? But had I known other things, obviously it was during COVID when I got licensed. So it was a little bit chaotic. Things were closed. Things weren't functioning full staff. People were offering $80K over asking. Times were crazy. So those are things, obviously, during my time, it was just like, well, we're going to shoot for the stars and hope for the best.
In the MLS, it shows flood zone and other hazards, or just
Flood zone, and I think it's fire.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's those two. Don't quote me on the fire. I know for a fact flood because I had to go and do one, and I was like, girl, you're in the middle of a flood zone. Like, this is going to cost you more because of the fact, even though it's the desert and it probably never flooded.
Like last week or like 2 weeks ago?
There's always, and then with my luck, my car's stuck at, Barnes & Noble because it flooded. So it's just, no, thank goodness it's not. I have an SUV. I'm a little higher. Did I zoom by and see how deep it was? Yes, I did. But I saw other people struggle. They were like, how do I get to my car? Like workers, I'm assuming, because it wasn't like that when they got there. My son's like, Mom, let's just watch the people try to get in their car. I'm like, that's so messed up.
But you watched.
But I watched a few people, and they're like doing the little tiptoe dance. Their poor shoes are ruined. But yeah, that's something that I bet you none of those stores realized that was going to happen. So their drainage system, the way it's a little pool, kind of backfired on them. So.
I lost a shoe one time coming out of.
You're a survivor.
We went.
Flood zone survivor.
For glasses, and it was fine. And when we were standing in there, the rain started so hard. Everybody was looking, and it was coming down so hard. And I grabbed my daughter. I said, let's go, We were finished. Went out to the car. It was like a river. And we're trying to get in the car. And I'm trying to get her in the car. And my shoe went down the drain. Yeah.
Hopefully it wasn't a favorite shoe.
It was, but I'm favored, she's favored, so let's get home.
No, I'm sure. Like, luckily, my son's pretty tall. He's 6'2", so you're on your own, buddy. Fend for yourself. May the strong survive. Like, but it was just those things. Like, you know, you have to do the little dance. You have to do it. My mom's house, it floods the whole area. Like, it will be a river, just going through her neighborhood. And I'm like,
And it's
she's like, well, that's why our driveways are so steep. I'm like, yeah, that's not a good thing.
But you know, it's crazy because that water is strong. You don't realize, and you know, when you see the news and people are going across in their car, I never realized it, and it's even higher up. That little water that we were trying to get into the car was strong. You
I
know,
seen cars stall
yeah,
out here. It's stalled.
yeah,
Water off in the motor.
yeah.
I know. And I don't know why people, sometimes I look at them, I'm like, really? You really thought you were going to clear that? Like,
Yeah.
And
with
they're
the,
Honda Fit.
yeah.
Like you swear.
Lowered, right? It's all lowered and modified. Like, it's literally like the one that just happened up there, Pear Blossom or whatever it was, where it's like a river, okay? It looked like, forget, and people are like, here I go. I'm like, what is?
And they can't open their doors or roll their windows down.
And I think
Get out.
it's
They don't
physics too.
understand the force that it
I think it's physics. You have to understand your engine weighs. The trunk, I mean, I don't think you have, you know, heavy things in the trunk, but the weight is going to go down, the tail's going to lift, and you're going to spin. Like, but some people don't know that. They're like, no, I got this. My weight alone will keep the car down. Like, no. It's, and then you just see them, ah, right? And they're like, I don't know what happened. I know what happened. You didn't do your research. You didn't think it through. So those are things you just want to make sure so that you don't, have a client call you 5 years later saying my car flew away, okay, because I was in a flood zone. Obviously, what's essential in your area too, there are certain disclosures. If you sell something in LA, they might have a different disclosure for that area. So do your research on those too. Every area is different. In Cal City, you might have a different form you need there versus, Quartz Hill. Little things like that you want to make sure. I see a lot of people, or I hear Angie and them, when I was AMCA, I've been in a lot of different roles here, but when I was AMCA, I'd have people all the time telling me, I didn't know I needed some random city sewer cert, whatever, from LA. Know your area. Now you're in the middle of escrow and you can't do much.
Where do you, or how do you find these things out?
So you can find it usually with the local board of that area. So you can usually check, like Gavar has their own forms. So they have their own disclosures that you want to make sure that you have. And then LA, of course, they have theirs too.
Kern County planning, by the way, they're very easy to get hold of.
I like Kern County.
So for Kern County, get really familiar with their number, call them, and they'll tell you which department you need to go to. It's usually Kern County planning, and they'll talk about the zoning of the homes, and then they'll direct you to a map. They have a map that shows like zone definitions of the plots of land at least.
Yeah.
And then I believe flooding, the flood zones too as well.
Yeah, you just opened another can of worms because know your land.
Yeah.
Know what it's zoned for.
Yeah.
It might not be residential.
Yeah.
It might be only for like growing crops or something,
And that's another thing,
like corn.
As a member of Gavar government relations, they have discussions about people that are trying to buy land and then park an RV on it, by the way. And you need to know the zoning for it, because if you're an agent selling to someone that thinks that they're going to park an RV and be okay with that, if you know that that can happen, you have to disclose that to your client though too. But it's just worth it to know.
Just do your research, guys, because at the end of the day, your client's going to come back to you and say, you helped me write this offer. I trusted you to tell me what it is that I needed, because I don't know.
So you can't park an RV on vacant land?
On some you can't.
Most land you can't, some you can.
Some, if it says residential, you can go park your RV and there's rules and you can get whatever it is, there's permits and stuff. In Ana Verde? When I lived in Ana Verde, you couldn't even have a basketball hoop. Watch my neighbors get towed away. So I was like, wow, theft. I just witnessed theft.
Yeah, the HOA in Ana Verde hasn't been that, I live there. They haven't been that practiced lately.
So I lived there.
Since COVID, they haven't been really enforcing it.
When I lived there 12 years ago, girl, they were on it for anything and everything. They were like,
Even 8 years
what
ago,
you got?
They would get letters if I had weeds. They were sending letters if you had weeds growing.
Yeah, no, they were on it. I would see that little truck. I'm like, oh God, what do we have outside? Like, oh, the trash can's in. Like, it was paranoia. And I'd watch my neighbor's stuff get hauled away. So.
There's a lot of people that can't afford homes in the LA basin, and they're coming out here because they know that you can buy a lot of land for real cheap.
they're going sovereign.
And we're,
Own government. My own everything.
yeah.
Know those things. Know HOA. Know if there's the Melrose. Know if there's things like that, because that would suck to find out you have a $600, Melrose later on.
Yeah.
That would suck to find out that you can't paint your house avocado green because the HOA is going to come down on you. It's things like that, like, because we have an avocado green one in our neighborhood. And so I'm like, it's not HOA though. So then I'm like, well, whatever. But it's things like that. You want to make sure that you know those things before you tell your client anything. Because if not, your client's going to be like, you didn't say anything.
Avocado green.
You would paint your house green, Winnie?
No.
I was like, I know you lying.
That would suck.
I was like, Winnie, let's have a conversation on the side. Don't do that.
Don't worry.
Just do Lightning McQueen on the side. Might be, ka-chow, all big on the garage. So it's little things like that. Just make sure you do your research, guys. And there's checklists. We have a checklist too of things that you should check for every property, whether it's like zoning, HOA, Melrose, things like that. Just know. I hate to have a surprise later. Yeah, we do. We have one. Mondo and I made one a while back, so
Awesome.
we can just have it.
Steal it from you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. It's always available. We're trying to put everything in a little drive, that way you guys can steal whatever and just take whatever you want.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Obviously, like I said, know the standards. Avoid rookie mistakes. These are just things that can happen. Like when you're first, you don't know until you know, right? So the more you prepare, the more you do research. If you have doubts or you're like, hey, I'm not quite sure if this is okay, bring it to one of us. We're licensed here. We'll look at it and be like, hey, did you catch that it could be this? Or, hey, I know it's Anna Verde. I know it's HOA. Did you tell your client it's HOA? It gets a little pricey. So it's little things like that that you just want to make sure.
$73.
Is it?
That's all it is, yeah.
Oh, when I was there, it was $1,200 and something for the year.
For the year.
Well, that's for the year. Well, for
Yeah.
the year.
We just paid for the year.
Oh,
Girl, don't try to collect no $70-something later from me. I'll forget.
It depends on the
Me and my
size of the
Timu.
home. Yeah.
I'm like, you paid up front. Don't try to get me later.
No, you're right. You're right. Well, they have Melrose right now still.
Yeah, it's just.
And everybody has Melrose.
Where did?
And actually, we're trying,
Great session.
the HOA, the board is trying to, I guess, trying to negotiate the remainder of the Melrose to see if it can be lowered. So it doesn't take as long, because when I bought the house in 2006, and at the time I was told it's 40 years, Melrose, because they had to bring everything,
Yeah.
all the infrastructure. So we started at $65. Now it's $73. But since it's been 21 years now, they're trying to see if they can negotiate the remainder of the years to lower.
See, and that's good to know. Those are good things to know. I lived up there when it was you could only get into Anna Verde through Avenue S. They didn't have that second opening. So that's how it was. I'm like, all right, we're here. So now we're gonna go ahead and present the offer. Now that we've done all the writing, preparation, research, encyclopedia checks, everything that you could do, we're gonna present the offer. Double check that all of your documents are there, okay? Make sure you have everything. You don't want the listing agent later to say, hey, you didn't send the offer. You sent everything but the offer. Like, it happens. It happens out there. So just double check your stuff, right? This is your representation, okay? Follow the instructions. This is back to me touching point on the fact that the MLS will say, hey, email this person, CC this person. I want to see certain things. Make sure you just read the notes, because that way you're not being asked like, hey, you didn't read anything, okay? And you'll always see it in the agent remarks or in things like that, okay? Label all documents clearly. This is a big one. Don't save the listing agreement as Doc 1, Doc 2, the sky is blue. Like random names that you're later looking at it like, what the heck is this? Like, I can't go directly to what it is. You want the listing agent to be able to look at it and go, this is the RPA. This is the disclosures. This is the, proof of funds. Everything's just clearly labeled.
And to add to that real quick, like when you're receiving an offer and
Mhm.
And it takes time for you to go in and relabel them and download them and do this instead of just uploading them to the file. So if you just upload them, it's way quicker if you do it right the first time. Because
Yeah.
I did that for a long time. I would just save it as
He was
whatever
public
it was
enemy.
saved at, JR2275 what file 1. And like, okay, good enough, here you go. And they had no clue what it was. And then I didn't realize that until I got that. I'm like, well, which one's what? I have to go in and click every single one of these to find out, and I would forget, and then I'm like, oh.
You got a dose of your own
I had
medicine.
to do that. I renamed a lot of files, and then I also the phase in which they're signed, because some files were just signed by the seller, and they need the buyer's signature as well. So I would say the final version would say final signed or fully executed.
Right.
I try to save that word for the contract, the original purchase agreement, but yeah, I had to do that because I uploaded into command one where, for instance, only the seller had signed it, and I had a buyer's signature as well.
Yeah,
But
whoopsie.
it was in my La La Land computer.
Yeah.
I always keep a file, and I just move it into complete pending, like the file signatures. I'm like, think. That way I know where they're at. It's just those things. I'm notorious for that. If I ever send you something on Canva, it's not going to be what it should be. I'm getting better. It'll be like Starry Sky template, and I'm like, it's a checklist. But I didn't label it right. I just took the template, and I left the name. So sorry in advance if you get one. I'm working on it. Order the documents logically. Like, don't send the disclosures first and this, and try to get them in order. Come on, let's make it easy for them. Email the summary. Like I said, I have a template that I send myself, and I just break down what it is, what I'm coming in with earnest money deposit, what kind of loan it is, what closing time I'm looking at. Just break it all down because they don't want to have to go dig for all the material. They may go verify, but that way they're looking at it. They're like, okay, cool, this one's good. I'll make sure I can just quickly summarize it. Those are things that you want to do just to make it a little easier. Not, here's my offer, check the docs. Don't do that. Someone did that to me. I was like, okay, well, you will be the last one to check because it's a lot of work. Yeah, so just make sure you just send a quick little summary. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it's just like, hey, first glance. Notify the listing agent. Message them. Be like, hey, I just submitted an offer. Let me know if you receive it. I always ask in the email, like, please confirm receipt. But text them. Hey, I just sent over an offer. Sometimes the email's wrong. Sometimes something can happen and then they don't get it and you're, out of luck.
Sometimes when I email an offer to my client to review and approve, I give a summary too, so that he doesn't have to go through all the pages.
Yeah.
And I say, here is what they are asking, here is what they are offering. Let me know how you want to counter if you want to set it like that.
No, 100%. And think about it. In California, we have the most documents. I just did a listing. When did I go? Monday, Tuesday? I just went and had a listing signed. And my client was laughing. He just started laughing. And I'm like, what's so funny? Like, I was panicking. He's like, all these lines are because someone got sued for it.
Yep.
All these warnings is because someone lost their, bananas and decided to sue. And now this little disclosure has to be here. So it's little things like that. Like, we don't want to add to the list. So let's just try to summarize it and make it easy for people to understand. It's like if you go buy a car, right? You may not know. You're trusting the salesperson to tell you, hey, this is what you're looking at, your payments. And that contract is long. So you just got to trust them. Sure. I'm like, I really want that car.
Firstborn in there, see?
I'm all, bye, kid. Consult, obviously, with your buyer. Talk to your buyer. Talk to them. Make sure, like, hey, you guys are good. Remember, they are a whirlwind of emotions. Whirlwind. I always try to tell people, like, think about when you really, really, really want something and you're finally about to get it and you're like the checkout and you're putting the card number wrong because you're all over the place. This is how they are. This is a big purchase. It's not some little thing they can go return at Walmart. This is a huge commitment, huge financial responsibility. Make sure you just are very clear with them. And also catch some of their stress. That's what we're here for. They vent to us, this, that, yeah, that's crazy. That's wild. I know it feels like the end, but you'll be fine. You'll get through it. I've been yelled at by my clients. I have one client, I love him. I've sold a lot about homes, bought a lot of homes with him. He refers me a ton of clients. Most of the clients you see that I deal with are referrals from him. But boy, is he an emotional roller coaster. Like, he will yell, he'll freak out. He's got the lender crying. He's got, like, everyone's just chaos. And I'm like, it's okay. This is how he is. let him vent. And the lender's like, are you sure? He's really mean. I'm like, yeah, it's just how it is. Like, you'll be good. We'll survive. So just understand that your client's going through some stuff. Do you have a Haas on all the wisdom I gave you?
All of it.
All of the above.
All the documents.
Right? Have it all. And of course, you guys, you have the checklist too. They give it to you in the book. They give you a lot of the stuff in there. But it's just stuff, if you build a system, that's why I have templates in my email. I literally just go in, I hit the template, and I'm like, plug it in, all the numbers. I don't even have to think about it. The only thing I'm changing is the address and the terms. Here's the template. Ding, 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 ding. Here's everything. Yeah, it's definitely. I'll show you how to do the template. And then I have it in there, like offer, a counter offer, and I just pick whatever it is that I'm sending, and I just reply. Because then I don't have to sit there and think, okay, I'm not on ChatGPT trying to figure out how can I be nice with this rejection. No, it's not. It's done.
Yeah.
It makes it faster. Bless you. Bless you.
And you know, for the inspections, when I talk to a buyer and they say, well, I want to make an offer, blah, 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 I say, well, you know, since we decided we're going to have this time for closing, these are 2 or 3 names of home inspectors, start talking to them, find out which one you like the best, because once you accept an offer, you want to start going right away. And at least it gets the buyer familiarized with the home inspector, and then you can start asking questions.
100%. 100%. That's something that you definitely want to have. Do you guys all know of a home inspector? Yes. Yeah? Okay. Like, I use Ross. I like him. This isn't a plug for, I'm just letting you know. Ross. I have his info. I know him as a Ross, okay? That's as far as the info goes.
I mean,
But
I like my guy too, but he's the only one I know.
so I love Ross because of the fact that, like, before he leaves that property, I have the report. That's how fast I have it. Like, I have it before. I will see him in his truck, and then my phone will go, blink, and it's like by text. I think I click it, and I look, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's everything. He is so thorough. He has even told me, hey, I'm just going to give you a heads up. I've inspected this house 3 months ago when it fell out of that escrow. And it looks like they patched things that should have been fixed. So it's little things like that. And as you build rapport, obviously, with your home inspector, it's good. But every one of my clients, I ask my clients, like, how did you feel about this person? Like, I loved him. He was so thorough. He called my clients over, like, hey, just so you know, like, check this out. This is something that could be flagged. This is something that could be called out. This is something you'll have to fix down the line. And obviously my client, being a contractor, was like, yeah, I'm cool with it. It's okay. I'll deal with it. I'm going to gut it anyways, whatever it is. But he's so thorough with his stuff that I really do like it. And that's just someone that I personally work with. He does almost all of my stuff, unless they come in with a friend, right? That's going to do home inspection. But like I said, he's very good. The report is literally in my hands before he leaves. That's how fast. And then that means that I have less time waiting for an inspection. I can go ahead and get down to, let's ask for these repairs. Let's ask for this, or let's get more clarification on these things. That way the next day, that listing agent has my request for repairs, has all my stuff ready to go. There's no time. We're trying to get it done. And, you know, people forget as days go on. Like, was it that bad? Maybe it wasn't that bad. It's okay. We don't have to request that. No, it's fresh. It's fresh. Get it done now, because you might not remember the same way. What's up with these black screens? Okay, receive and review the offer checklist. So, let's see. Now, this is going to be more shifted towards when you are on the listing side. Okay? So now we got Stacy coming in with her offer, and now we're going to be the listing agent, and we're going to be like, okay, here's what we're receiving, and here's how we're going to review it. So make sure that the offer is complete. Obviously, you don't want to later be in front of your client, hey, let me get this from the, buyer's agent. Confirm the receipt of the offer. You want to make sure that you let them know, hey, I received it. A lot of times people will reply back like, hey, I received it, and I'm going to be going over offers on this day at this time. You should expect a, hearing back by XYZ time. Okay? Get the offer to the seller in a timely manner. For my clients, I tell them immediately, like, hey, I got an offer, just so you know. Do you want the rundown of the offer? Usually they're like, yes. tell me, because maybe it's great. And they're like, yeah, let's just do it. So you just want to go ahead and do that. Create executive summary. This is where it helps you when you have that email summary, because you've kind of already done the work to help them out. Obviously, it's your job to verify, but you want to make sure that you have it in a quick rundown. You're not going to sit there and be like this with the RPA, right? Like, I think they said here, no. Offer A, B, and C. Here's the rundown on each one and the highlights, pros and cons, and let's just figure out which one you want to go with. Okay? So you want to go ahead and do that work before you sit down with your client. If you're calling them on the phone, review the offer yourself and do the homework so that when you call them, you know the bullet points, not I'll get back to you. Okay? Call the buyer's agent. Verify if you have questions on anything, right? Like this is where obviously when you have a relationship, it's nice because you can, when I got an offer, we had well, they didn't ask for a well cert. I'm like, hey, heads up, we have a well, and I don't want that to mess with you later because, you have to check the flow and all this stuff of the well. And I want to make sure that you don't get hit with that later and then your client's mad at you. Oh my gosh, yeah, let me go ahead and change that real quick. And so they did. They changed it and said, hey, we understand there's well. So there's things like that that you want to be able to do, but you just want to check. If they asked for a septic cert and there's no septic, you may want to call the buyer's agent and be like, hey, you added a cert that isn't existent for this. So it's little things like that. Just do your research, talk to the buyer, and let them know, hey, what's up. Call the lender, if allowed in your area, to verify pre-approval. This is where I think a lot of the agents now are putting to just cross-qualify with my lender. Like, are you open to cross-qualifying? That's a tongue twister. So it's just because, like I said, a lot of times they have those pre-approvals out there that are not really pre-approvals. They're just there to get you in the door, and then they'll figure it out later. And you want to make sure that they're good to go. And then create an outline document to reference when you call the sellers. Obviously, you have everything, it's just reiterating the fact that you have it all like documented and set up right. Remember, everything that you do this is a side note, everything you do with a buyer or seller, down to when you start at an open house, is a form of referral possibilities. It's literally a form of referral possibilities because you could be handling something so great. It could be the open house. And a seller walks in and goes, you know what? I loved the way she did this. I wanted her to sell my house. Always remember that. So if you come prepared, they could even tell their friends, you know what? She was so prepared when she showed me the offers. It was just bullet points. I didn't even have to stress. So think big. If you come in like chaos, they're going to be like, no, that girl was a mess. Or that guy was a mess. I had to read the stuff myself. Now, have you guys come to the compliance class with Angie and Patty? Some.
They did one not a few months ago.
Some. It's just them showing you how to put the offer in command. Put the offers in command. Guys, start those habits. I don't want to hear you running up to Patty saying, hey, I closed tomorrow and I've submitted nothing. My check will be here. You guys have no idea it's coming. And escrow is demanding a CDA. And we're like, what the heck? What? You have a closing? We didn't even know. Get in the habit of putting this in the system because it gives us a heads up like, hey, I have this coming. Compliance has time to review your docs. I went through a whole escrow and found out they're in a trust. Had to go back and fill out a bunch of other stuff before you want to do it all before you close. Or they could just be like, I'm not doing that.
All right, dumb question.
Yeah.
Who is compliance?
Angie. Angie's compliance, and she works closely with Wendy because she's the broker. So amongst the two of them, they do it. But Angie's the one who reviews, and she's very good at it. She's very diligent with it. She will make sure that the right names are signed where they need to be. Agents submit files that are in the wrong file. Mike is a repeat offender here to what it is. We're like, Mike, this closed 3 months ago. What are you doing?
Can I have Angie look at it, even if it's not totally complete?
Listen, you can submit.
Can she start looking at it now?
Submit what you have.
Immediately, as soon as you have them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
she's
submit
not-
what you have. Don't hit her at the end with 50 documents that you got to check. She will curse your name.
My emergency. I don't need a transaction coordinator yet. I can't afford one right now. Do I have to have a
You don't have to, but it's good to just ask Angie because what
The versions.
Yeah.
Version 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
it's
you-
always good to just ask.
just ask. It saves you the trouble of it later on.
Yes.
Just because you could miss a complete document and then you're like, what now? They closed. They're not going to
Well,
reply.
For some reason, I'm being pushed to use a TC, and I don't want to use a TC
So-
just yet.
I don't have one either.
I don't mind. Yeah, exactly. For
I'm going to
some
tell
reason-
everyone. So I have a
I'm
TC.
gonna put it out there. I got someone who's pressuring me to use their TC.
Okay.
And I don't want to.
So
I
I'm
don't-
going to
I don't want to if I don't need to. I can't afford
I'm going to
that.
give you pros and cons.
Okay.
Okay? And this is just someone I use a TC.
Yeah.
But I
When
also
get busy, I want a TC to take
Oh,
care of
100%.
everything, but yeah,
100%.
I'm not gonna- yeah.
But I have a TC because of the fact that A, I work full time here. Then I have my kid who's
Right.
demanding.
Right.
Then I decided to be a community person and join a bunch of different boards that I have meetings for and stuff.
Yeah.
So I overexerted myself. So my TC keeps me in line. Hey,
Yeah.
what's up with this? Hey, what's up with that? What you've got, and for some reason I have referrals coming in and it's like, hey, you have listing photos, you have this, you have that, they're putting new carpet. It's hard for me to keep track of. So I have her for that reason.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
when you are first starting,
Yeah.
you should know what it is you need.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I should be using a TC.
Because how do you know if you hire a TC and she's messing up your reputation?
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't know.
Ones and their bad ones.
You don't know. Not all TCs are created equal. So those are things that you want to know. If you are trusting a TC and she's sending all the wrong docs and whose name goes on there? It's not hers or his. It's yours. So those are things that you want to do, especially as you're getting to know forms. And every 5 minutes they're changing a form, right? It's a new form, new this, new referral agreement, rad thing, and all kinds of stuff. So these are things that you kind of just want to know. Know your documents. Know what you're doing. Do you guys know if you have a TC, if you have whatever, you can go to the activity of your file and you can see every single time one of us has touched your file. You can see when Angie's logged on and opened a doc. You can see when I've jumped in. I usually don't, but you could see if I jump in, it'll say Victoria came in and checked this document. You can see the interactions. I've had people call saying, why isn't my check clear? Well, let's check activity. Your TC logged everything last night at midnight. They just submitted everything. What do you want me to do? Like, we didn't have it. So it's little things like that. Get to know your docs first. You guys are just starting. You just paid fees. You just paid, yearlies. You MLS, signs, your clothes maybe. You got a new hairstyle. Whatever it is that you guys did, right? You're in the red. You got to get out of that red. Get some stuff, You just want to make sure that you just know your stuff. If you want to hire a TC, you really want to leverage it, it's just a risky thing because you really are putting your business in their hands. So it's up to you.
I will later, absolutely.
If-
I'm talking to Angie today after this meeting.
Yeah.
I'm anxious too.
Yeah. So like for me, I use Jessica Allen. She's amazing.
Okay.
She's amazing. I love her. She'll yell at me sometimes. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to manipulate you into paying for something. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Here I go. Let me say, you're right. You know what? You will not manipulate me. But it's things like that. But why? She knows the business very well. She's very educated when it comes to things like that. Everyone thinks because you can upload a doc, you can be a TC. So it's things like that. You just want to make sure that you just know. But if you're a good agent and you know your forms and you know your stuff, guess what? You'll be able to catch things too. Hey, that's missing. Hey, this isn't right. Hey, whatever. That's just a side note on TCs.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Don't ever feel pressured in this business. Receive, review, and respond to the offer. So buyer makes the offer. They look all nice and snazzy in their email. Seller responds obviously in the 3 ways that we did earlier. Had me second guessing myself because the slide is exactly the same. So you have the different options now that you can do, right? You can counter the offer. If you have multiple counter offers, you can, send obviously the multiple counter. You can accept the offer. Woohoo, we're opening escrow. Everyone's all happy, celebrating, doing all that stuff. Or you can just reject the offer and say you're crazy. We're not accepting that. So there's obviously those 3 routes you can do. And not all are cookie cutter, right? It depends on what it is that you're doing. Reach a decision. When you're talking to your client, this is why you want to go extremely prepared with all the details of the offers. Okay? Offer A, offer B. I like to keep it with just offer A, B, and C. I don't do names. I don't do anything like that. It's very bland. I don't put Michelle or, you know, what if the husband dated a Michelle years ago and, oh no, I don't like that one. You don't want to put anything like, why risk it, right? Offer 1, offer 2, offer 3. Here's what it is. Here's the terms. We're going off terms only. Okay? Counter offer, obviously you're going to decide, like, do you guys want to counter? You want to present the different options that your seller has with these offers. Have you guys had, and have people have listings here? So you've had listings? So, not soon. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming, guys. When you have this stuff, you just want to be, and I know right now because you haven't experienced it, it's like, right in one, out the other. Like, okay, it's there. When you're sitting there and you're trying to figure things out, you're going to remember, like, oh, I have options. So just make sure you know these and you want to present to them. Of course, like I always try to explain to my sellers first, we have 3 different ways that we can go. So let me know which way you guys want to decide. Sometimes they just want to talk and figure it out amongst themselves. We want to do this or that. Okay? Come on, little clicky thing. Oh, what the heck? It's already over. Okay, well, never mind. What is, I know you guys have had me for a minute. What are some things that you guys may be worried about or confused about? All of it?
No. It's
I'm all, ma'am?
it's-
Ma'am, I don't.
it's just
Forgetting something?
a lot, yeah.
It's
The process.
checklists. Guess how my checklist started? Because I was forgetting everything.
Yeah.
My checklist started with the notes in my phone. I had a little notepad. You know the notes section? I'm like, yeah, check. There's like 55 million of them in there. I'm like, it's just because that's what I had. And then I'm like, maybe I need a form. Maybe I need to just upgrade it a little bit more. When you're juggling multiple things, you want to have these checklists in place. You want to have things in order. And I'm the worst because I will start a system and then switch and then switch and then switch and do 50 million things. But in Canva, now I've learned, you can have a template, right? And you can create duplicates of that page. And I just changed the name at the top. So when I'm driving or, you know, when somebody's like, hey, do you know what's up with this? I go to my Canva and I start flipping through and I go to the property. I'm like, oh yeah, we're at this stage. It's always available on my phone. Always available. Yeah, just keep it on my phone. Keep it on, you know, the timeline that I just have it in Canva. And I send the screenshot over to my client. Hey, it's updated. Here's a screenshot. Here we go. Here we are. It's just keep it simple in the beginning. Keep it simple. As new agents, you will be solicited to get so many, get this name tag that will be like, you know, locator for you and radiate your name on the wall. And you don't need it. People used to sell homes with like yellow books. So you don't need it. Keep it simple. Use, obviously, like you guys have obviously gone over different classes, but you have a whole, I don't know if you guys are aware, we're #1 in the AV. We sold 1,600 and something units last year. You know who the runner-up is? They're at 600 units.
Wow. They're way behind.
They're way behind.
Who is it, Rice?
Remax.
Remax?
Rise is like number 4 or 5.
Okay.
So it's things like that you have that you're like, you have tons of transactions happening here. Ask us. I always tell people, like when I get a listing, a few of you know, I always open it up to agents to host. Always. I already told Sarah too. I'm like, when my new listing comes on the market, do an open house. I just need them to finish painting. It's taking forever. Things like that. You have opportunity here. Just ask us. Like, you know, I know you have Michelle as a mentor. She's getting busy. We were actually just, you know, talking about everything. Like, so it's things like that. Just use what you have and you will do well.
Open houses are very effective.
Open houses are great.
It's not from you're canvassing the area the days before. It's the day of open house. People will start looking at you as an expert when they walk in.
Just know your area. Know your area. Even if you do a last minute open house, right? Mm-hmm. Just try to know the area. It's hard. Poor Sarah, she sat with me at an open house during a holiday weekend. It was a little bit chaotic. It goes, we got to talk. We got to, you know, talk about the business and stuff. But if you guys have goals and you want accountability, let me know. Like, hey, my goal is to get my first escrow by March. Okay. So guess what? When those agents come around asking me, hey, do you have somebody that can host my open house? Yes, I do. I have one. I have somebody that is eager. Yeah, send it. I have the open house class that I do, that I immediately tell everybody, like, hey, these people took the class. I have the list. These people took my class. So when the top producers come asking me, do you have someone? I have these people.
I took your
When
class.
does that start?
You have open house?
So I'm bringing it back.
Other agents, by the way, at their open house. So
I love it.
I'm available.
I love it.
I'm available.
Let's do it. She's like, put me on the list, everybody.
Put me on the
Wait,
list.
did you add like the newer agents on the list? Because I've been getting texts and I'm like, I don't even know these agents and they're asking me and I'm like, wait, I didn't take your open house.
So it could be just that they saw your ad somewhere. They saw it. Wendy maybe is telling people to message. It just depends. But when I have the open house class, the reason why I had it is because I go over certain things in ways that you should act, especially with the top producers, to get more.
So when is this class?
I'm bringing it back, so I'm probably going to do it middle of February.
Bring it back.
And I'm going to do it again. I changed a lot of things like maps and zoning, and I've added a lot of stuff to it, But that way, when you go to an open house, you're confident. I'm confident. I know what I'm doing. I know what to prepare for. I keep a cleaning caddy in my car. Because guess what? If I go and there's a little cockroach on the floor, I don't want that there.
Yeah.
Get that out of there, right? Like, I don't want you to say, because remember, you have potential people coming in to maybe this person could sell my home. Be nice. Keep the house smelling good. You know what I mean? Like, text the listing agent. Hey, thank you so much for the opportunity. This is the traffic. This is what happened. I noticed the window was broken. Whatever it is.
I bring my vacuum.
I think
Yeah.
that's also like you said, just make sure, because I did actually open house 2 weekends ago and then I closed everything, but one of the windows wasn't closing properly, so I text the agent and I said, oh, the window is not properly closing, because I'm like, I don't want them to later say you didn't notify me.
Yeah, it's your fault.
Like, at least I texted, they have it, then just lock up and make sure you do the best you can. And then
Yeah.
spray, sometimes I spray because sometimes the houses will smell a little funky.
Yep.
So I heard,
Sometimes, a lot of times go.
I heard that like orange zest that helps supposedly, like psychological, it makes you feel like warm. So I usually will spray it.
Well, she's
before I
bringing
go there.
psychics up in there. She's like, we're going to do psychological warfare. You're going to like this house.
And then
Psychological warfare.
yeah, because I actually did another open house, and so I'm there, whatever, and then the owner comes in. They're like, "Oh, thank you so much for hosting it." Long story short, the person had passed away in the house, and they didn't tell me about it, and it wasn't on the MLS. So I was like,
Do you get a discount?
there.
But do I get a discount? Like, and that can be a make and break for somebody, right? So that's something too. Because I help agents sometimes buy their own homes, right? Because it's just, I'm in office and I can help you, whatever. They were ready to go. Escrow was going good, and then she found out somebody died in the house, and she canceled everything. She's like, I will not do it. So just know what you're doing. If you guys have, questions and stuff like that, like people have come up to me and said, do you have a sign-in sheet? And I'll print one out fast for you. Do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have flyers? Do you have?
Your sign-in sheets work, by the way. I use yours.
I love my,
The question
it's
about if they're
simple.
represented or not, it helps me narrow down who it is I want to follow up with.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then I keep a notes in my phone for when they talk to me. I can keep note of like, okay, so-and-so told me they want this, this, this. They're looking for this. They're looking for that.
Yep.
And I always send a message to everybody. Thank you for stopping by my open house. Even if, I mean, like, I'm not soliciting. I'm just saying thank you for stopping by, even if they have an agent. Why? Because what if their agent's not that great and now their brother wants to buy a house and like, you know what, this one was so on it, try her. Because mine didn't do what they needed to do or whatever it is. Remember, you're constantly representing yourself. People see you. If you look a mess and there's days you come in here and I'm looking a little crazy, but just know there's days that, you just want to always try to be your best. Representative is always out. Keep your stuff. Do you guys have other questions? Do you have other things? I will be bringing the open house class. I think you wanted to see about the flood zone.
Yeah. Well, especially if you're selling or buying in Rosamond, a lot of folks they like the manufactured homes out there that are on land, which are few and far between, so you probably won't get hit with that very often. But if you do, just check the flood zone.
Check your flood zone. Insurance is high.
Antelope Acres, not so much a problem, I don't think.
Insurance is high. Don't surprise it. What?
The Hollies?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I have sold a couple of houses there, in different sections of the town, and they all require a flood zone.
Yeah. So flood
It's
insurance.
know what you're doing. Yeah, look at the fire with the fire area. Am I in a fire zone? Because it's gonna be expensive. So many companies pulled out of California because of the fires that happened. They couldn't. When I went to an event in Sacramento, they were talking about how they just don't have funds to pay out.
Yeah.
So now they have to collect it from deductibles and monthlies from everyone to rebuild that bank
And your taxes go up.
account. All right, hold on, guys. I don't know my Gantt number by heart, so don't judge me, okay?
I don't either.
Good. I won't judge you. Don't judge me.
I'm not judging.
In fact, I'm just gonna see if one of these people's works. Hey, Angie's works. Thank goodness she paid her bill. Okay. So when you,
Here,
Angie, yeah, she's here. She's somewhere.
on this.
Oh, that Angie. Oh.
Yeah, our Angie.
Oh. Hey, Angie, I'm coming for you. She's listening.
Oh, I'm talking about our Angie, Office Angie, not our cute Angie on Zoom. Let's see. I'm just gonna do the office. I don't even know if it's okay. It's not gonna show up. Who has a listing or address?
I don't want to give it away.
Okay, don't spill your beans, girl. Hold on.
This one's
The
on
one
the
that we're going to do, the address is 42344,
42344
Camden Way.
Camden Way. Okay. I'm only
93536.
doing it to steal the address, to be honest with you. So we're gonna come to quick search. Right? Here we go. And then we're gonna come over here and we're gonna put the little pin.
Wait, okay, let's go.
I have this broken down in a video. I can share it with you. So quick search,
Right.
the little pin,
Oh, the pin, okay.
paste. It was Lancaster, right?
Yes, 93536.
Okay, locate. I love it. We're gonna use this location. Now we know where Claire's gonna be at, okay? So we're here, right? We're gonna change over here where it says overlays. We're gonna click it and we can go to, oh, okay, hold on. Flood zone.
Does it have earthquake faults too?
Huh?
Does it have earthquake faults? Fault lines?
Hmm.
No.
Imagine, parcels, LA County land use, MLS area, school districts,
No, that's cool.
and whatever it is. So, done. And let's see. Claire, do you not have a flood zone over here, girl? Okay, well, there's flood zones over there. But that's how you kind of know. So you're like, all right, over here, if you're in this weirdly shaped thing, you are in a flood zone. You will not flood right here, but everywhere else you're in trouble. So it's little things like that that you, so random.
According to the county or according to
According to the area.
or
You know what? I'm not quite sure, but I will find out for you. I just know that it's zoned that way through the map, and I don't know where they pull their sources from. But like if you come into, okay, all right, now you're you're a little bit in trouble over here, right? So you have flood zones and you have all this stuff. So
up to Rosamond? See?
yeah, see, trouble.
Up there, yeah.
Trouble's lurking here with these artery-looking things.
That's
But
where one of my homes is.
so this is where you kind of know. You're like, okay, this guy, you might have some, bless you. Let's see. Okay, maybe you're clear. So it's things like that. You just want to make sure that you know so that you're ahead of it. Okay? I'll find out about the fire one because that is something that is useful for us.
So if you're right outside the flood zone, you're all good.
Like here, you might be good, but what if you're like right. Here? You may or may not.
Right.
That's why she was saying it's depending on who and what they're pulling from, especially with NHD, it could vary. But you just want to make sure you know, like, hey, just as an FYI, when we get that NHD, it might be in the flood zone just because it's so close or whatever it is. Okay? And guys, you can come pick our brains anytime. If you guys, have things, if you want to shadow people, I can always try to pair people up to shadow, things like that. Like you shadowed with Briones. with Andrew, just watched. You guys kind of can see those things. I shadowed with Sarah, so I just sat with her. Little things like that. I really just accompanied you, but I was there. So it's little things like that that you can do. I have, because I'm like moving, I have a lot of stuff that's for decorations and stuff, so we have themes. I do have a ton of different themes. I'm trying to organize them all, but like Easter, Valentine's Day, football, right? I did a open house for someone and they did a football theme, so I decorated it all with the footballs and the stuff and drawing for Super Bowl picks and little things like that that you can do to make it interactive. Make it fun. You can get buyers and stuff. Okay? Do you have questions on anything else? Do you feel like you can write an offer and submit it and be good? Yeah, I don't want to see no offers coming in my listing. Like, what the heck? I told them to do a summary. Now I got to go dig. Come on. So
I'm sorry.
No.
Who's the Angie that I can?
Angie Sorn. So she's the one that sits in front of me. Yeah, in front of me and Patty.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm gonna go raid her desk right now.
Yeah, just go and ask her about the forms and stuff like that. If you guys ever have questions, you literally have. That's the. I think she is covering the front. You're right. I literally, you guys, you have a privilege of the fact that you have a full licensed staff here.
Yes.
You have staff. There's mentors. There's top producers that we are not a cloud company. You have a broker that's in-house. You have a TL. You have a MON. Use us. That's what we're there for. Come ask us the questions. Hey, you know what? I'm lost. Or when you first start, you don't get a handout like, ready? Here you go. You got to kind of figure it out and do things. So if you come up to me and you're like, hey, I'm scared to do my first open house. I need a little bit of help. I will swing by your open house. I will go over there and I will go check out your open house. Multiple people have seen me do it.
Victoria?
Winnie knows. I went and sat with her.
Yep, it was a
So-
disaster. Get her information first, you guys.
So I will
Get
go
help
sit with
first.
you. It's a
She
little
did. She kept me straight, but
Ivan, I did an open house with Ivan where I was watching him and I'm like, hey, and he got 3 potential buyers. I don't take your leads, don't worry. They're yours, but I will help you figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, Ivan was a little scared. Poor guy, I'm putting him on blast. He was like, I'm like, you don't have to stalk them. Just go tell them, like, hey, what are you looking for? Like, what's your plan? What brings you to this open house? It's just conversations you have. And he felt nervous, but I was taking notes behind him, right? And he's like, yeah, I'll reach out. Definitely. I think he got a buyer from it. So it's just about your combo, your setup.
It's good to know that everybody has a little fear about doing something the first time.
Girl, I was terrified. Guess what? This is the first time I've taught Ignite.
Is that right?
This is the first time I've taught it.
We don't know.
Y'all got to break the ice, and this is my first time.
Well, you're doing an excellent job.
Thank you. Thank you. The first time I've been here. So we all get a little scared. You think last night I wasn't like, oh my God, I gotta go talk about offer. I gotta go. Like, everyone gets a little scared. But guess what? You learn through doing. You learn through doing. And you learn through the ups and downs. Poor Stacey's going through it with her clients. And you learn. You learn. Use our traumas to help you through yours. Make sure you check if there's wells. Make sure. And we have checklists. So if you want a copy of the checklist, just come ask us. We'll share it with you. And that way you can go ahead and I'll make it look cute so you guys can customize it to your stuff. But use it. Use the little spreadsheet to your client. Even if it's something like pre-approval. You're about to get your pre-approval. Yay, then we look for homes. It's a cute way to hold you accountable. So I have all that little corny stuff. Okay. Any other questions? Anything? Okay. Some of it's still in the works, but I'll be like, just make do. But you guys have all those things. So just, feel free to come pick our brains and we'll help you.
I have an observation and a question. I know that we get the pre-approval from the lender. Let's say pre-approval with DEU. We are supposed to, or we should, review the entire document because my understanding is that there may be things there may, that the buyer may have to clear maybe, or are there any situations where the lender and the buyer are working on maybe getting rid of a debt or something like that? Is that correct?
I'm going to tell you what I do, okay? And this is my disclosure. This is what I do. I'm not a lender.
No.
But I let them have that conversation with the lender. The lender should communicate with me, hey, we have XYZ that we're trying to pay off. I always ask, is there something I need to know about this loan? They have a debt. I don't need to know how much the debt is. It's not my business. I just know that you have to pay it off, and now I know I can be like, hey, did you guys pay that debt off? Are you good? Is this clear? Are we good with the loan? Like, I literally, anytime someone asks me lending questions, I refer them to the lender. I'm not going to sit there and try to talk rates with you. Like, I will tell you, like, hey, I know last I know it was this, but I'm not a lender. Same way I don't want the lender trying to give them advice on a house.
No.
But that's why I don't bother with it. I ask the lender.
When it's there, so you can ask the lender, are there any significance to this?
I literally just get the pre-approval and I ask,
Okay.
is there anything I need to know? Or is this just a straight pre-approval and we're good to go?
Okay.
And usually they'll tell me, girl, no. They don't even have the pre-approval yet. They've got debt, they've got this, and I'm like, okay, cool, now I understand. So do we have them on a plan to fix the credit? Or do we have them on something that it just takes a little bit more nurturing? Mm-hmm. But if not, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, hey, I know you owe Capital One.
Oh, no.
You
You
know.
have to ask the buyer, but at least to know what's in there so you can ask some questions to the lender. Or the lender, like you said, the lender will say, don't worry about it.
Yeah, they were good.
Fine.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I usually don't, like,
You don't want to get involved in
it's just not, it's just not my thing. Like, this is probably something I shouldn't say, but I'm gonna say it. My client found out that her husband had like 50K in debt. Okay, messed up their loan. This is the one that they didn't pre-approve, and we were in escrow. 50K mysteriously in debt. And it started a family war. And then it was every time I sat down to talk to them, it's like, well, so-and-so wanted to get into debt. And I'm just there, like, please open the doc. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear any of this. But it's things like that. And I'm always like, I don't know the debt you're in. The lender knows. Even though the lender told me, I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Like, I just try to, the less I'm involved, because something goes wrong, guess what? I'm going to get the bad review.
So when you set up the appointment for them, you're not even there. It's just them and the lender.
So you can do it both ways. Obviously, if your client's nervous and stuff, be there. But I literally will sit there and I'll be on my laptop doing kind of my own thing.
You ask them?
You always ask your client, do you feel more comfortable doing it this way? Do you feel more comfortable doing it that way? Just the other day, I had somebody come in, get pre-qualified with Carol, and I wasn't even in the room. She saw me walk by multiple times, and they came out and said, she's pre-approved, 900K. Cool. We'll move forward when you're done with your travels, because she's traveling the world right now, I think right before she buys a house. So when you come back, we'll go ahead and we'll start looking for homes. I just try to always remove myself from those things. Now, if it's title and we have an issue and it's blocking and I have to communicate it, then yes. But with their loan and stuff, like, talk to the lender. I don't want to give you advice that messes up your loan. Oh, and I know people are like that. You said, not on my watch.
I had a similar question yesterday from just a friend at the counter, and he's just asking me, he's like, so if my credit's here, what do you think I can get approved? And I was like, I'll be honest, I'm not a financial advisor or a lender. I was like, but I can connect you.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there.
And lenders have different programs. They have different things.
So I was like, I'm going to say that.
It's just easier, because then if not, you're tied to something. And guess what? They don't qualify. Now it's your fault. You're a bad agent because you told me I qualified for 500K. Yeah, I don't want to put myself in that position. I know nothing. Even though the lender told me that they're 10K in debt, this, and can you believe this? Can you believe that? And I'm like, that's crazy. And then my client's like, do you know we're in debt? I'm like, what? I heard you had a little bit. Are we going to work on it? Like, I just like to remove myself from any potential setup that can happen. And you do see it in the report, and you glance over it, but I don't comment on it. Yeah, like, the less I comment on, the better. It's bad enough I got to worry about flood zones and these shapes. The last thing I need to worry about is your interest rate. So, but yeah, just know your stuff. You can know. Just that's my take on it. Do what you want. Do what you want. You hit them with the whole report. Capital One says, Amen. Amex isn't happy with you. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, I just try to not do that. But any other questions? Any other anything?
Well, I thought you were great, Victoria. You had so much information. You were probably one of the best presenters.
Aw, you're so cute. I appreciate you.
Yes, you're awesome, Victoria. Thank you.
I'm always here. So you guys ever need anything, don't hesitate. Come ask. Even if I'm running around, just ask. I know what it's like to be a new agent. I know what it's like to not know the answers. And if I can direct you to someone who does, or I can answer it myself, why stress yourself out over it? Yeah. You're welcome. Okay, guys. Did you guys finish the sandwiches? Huh?
We need your QR code.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, but if it's bad, don't put my QR code, okay? Because now she needed to brush her hair. There's been days this week, okay?
That was hilarious. I was like, hold on. Let me get you.
I know. See? But it's relationships.
Teamwork.
We're all a big team, guys. I never want somebody to say a KW agent. I don't want to work with a KW agent because they messed up something.
Do you have any class after this?
There's the HUD class at 1. I knew it had a 1. 11-1. 1T1.
And that's online too?
It's here in person. So actually, Andrea Castaneda is going to come. So she's amazing. She's really full of info, and that's a good one.
Okay.
So come back.
Are they going to have it in Zoom?
Yeah, it's going to be Zoom as well, and they're going to provide lunch.
Okay.
Hey, so come get lunch. Come get fed. Ma'am, language. Oh, dang. You gotta do it up here, girl. Come on, I saw little hands moving. And you guys are good. You're free. Of course. Thank you for being my first Ignite class.
Extremely well.
Through trauma. Are we all good? I think I can close this.
I always say what keeps me going? Anxiety.
You know, I was a paramedic for 6 years. Okay? I worked 911. You'd call 911, it'd be me trying to patch you up and keep you alive long enough to get to the hospital.
That's why it doesn't bother you as much. You've seen a lot online.
So to me, I'm like, you think you're dying, but you're not. Like, it's not the end of the world. We can fix all this. Like, it's not a big deal. So yeah, I was a paramedic for 6 years. If you ever called 911, I probably showed up.
Victoria, what's your last name?
Guzman, Guzman. There's just me. There's only one Victoria up in here. There's only one. There's only one crazy one. Like I said, make sure you guys stick around for the HUD class. It will be good. HUD is something because of, situations and stuff. People are losing homes. People are,